Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Curtain, Week 6, Episode 6. You know how it is by now. It's a series where I go ahead, I talk about my week, and I talk about a theme that has been reoccurring within the week. Apologies today, this episode is out late. That's because I'm filming it past the release time normally. It's been kind of, it's the season, it's Christmas, all that sort of stuff. So I've been a busy bee this week. And I wasn't able to find the time, at least like today daytime, to like film it. So here we are. It's gonna be like an hour or so late. I'm gonna try my best not to ramble and just upload this whole thing raw. So we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, we might as well go ahead and start with the week. Now, like I said, of course, it's a bit of a festive week, right? So everybody's out. They're doing the holiday shopping. I spend a lot of time with my family during weekends and stuff like that. So especially around Christmas time, it's the same sort of thing. So like I say, this week I've been here, there, and everywhere, going out shopping to places and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's been fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything like major's happened while I've been shopping. Not really. This is something I'll touch on later in a little bit. But yeah, it's been kind of standard week. If you're wondering, hey. What happened on the job front? Any updates? Any updates on the job front? Yeah, kind of. There's been a little shining light, maybe. I don't know how to phrase it, but there's a possibility that one of my friends gets a role in a business which is going to be hiring new people soon. And he would be able to be like, hey, hire this guy. So yeah, we got a little bit of potential there. So. Obviously, I don't want to get my hopes up like I basically always do. But hopefully, that'll go well. I'll probably find out within like Wednesday next week about that. So hopefully, fingers crossed that things will work out. Because if they don't, and the start of the new year, I'm gonna have to sign on to like Universal Credit, which is like if you know in the UK, there's like a thing you can sign on to where they help you find jobs. And then if you still can't find jobs, they like pay you monthly, like a very small amount anyway to try and help you live. So yeah, that's the thing I'm going to go ahead and do. But the reason why I haven't done so far is they can be pretty like tight and pressure you quite a lot to literally apply for like anything. And of course, I have a lot of guidelines when thinking about sort of what kind of job to find and all that sort of stuff. That's kind of on the job front though. So back to the week, like I said, we're going out shopping, and a couple of things kind of happened. So on Thursday, that's right, yesterday, went out to see some like relatives, I guess is the term, and just spent some time with them. We literally see them like once or twice a year, so it's like maybe it's like a Christmas tradition. It kind of is at this point. So yeah, and it helped me come up with this week's topic, and you're probably wondering how did that help me come up with this week's topic? So I'm gonna answer that right now. So basically, this week, I went to see some relatives, and they have a dog, right? A little dog. No, it's not little actually. So it's a border collie, right? So went to see these relatives, and this border collie is like a character. You know, like each dog basically has their own like personality, and like you can never recreate it, right? This dog's whole shtick, right? I mean, shtick would imply that it's like a joke that it intentionally does, and it definitely does not do it intentionally, is fighting shadows, right? Which sounds so stupid, right? And it is, like, so this dog, right, basically goes insane at shadows, and you're probably thinking, well, how does that dog, like, function? Because, it will make a shadow, and you're right, it literally spends all of its time, basically, attacking its own shadow, and I was like, wait, what does this mean? I was kind of like, wait, that's kind of like, when you think about it, attacking your own shadow is like, it's interesting. That's the kind of theme of this sort of week, I was like, you know what? Attacking your own shadow, like it's like past you essentially, right? When I said I wanted to do this in one take, somebody just stopped me from doing that, so that's right. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, so this dog basically, it chases its own shadows, and I was like, wait, that's kind of like interesting, like attacking like past you, or like the image of you, basically like being against yourself. And I was like, wow, that's I kind of agree with that. Like I feel that, there's quite a few times when I've had issues where it's like I'm basically going against myself or the past me, or you know what I mean. shadows of the past sort of thing. But yeah, and then the second thing that happened this week was very, very weird. And it happened today, and I was just out with my family, and all of a sudden, a goddamn teacher shows up, right, from school. And it's not just any teacher. This is, like, the one teacher, like, I actually, like, really liked. He's, like, such a chill guy. He's, like, the person I felt most, like, comfortable with at school and all that sort of stuff. And, yeah, he just appeared, like... And the craziest thing about it, right? He came over, wanted to say hi, just like, I was really awkward, I'm going to be honest. I did not answer or reply or have like a typical conversation. I do regret that quite a lot because he was a really cool guy. Well, it's not, you know, it's not like he changed. But the craziest thing about the whole interaction was he, visually, at least, or personality-wise, has not changed a single bit. He is literally the same guy from, like, 5 years ago. Like, the complete same. And it's one of those things where, for a second, I was, like, speechless. Because for a second, I was like, what the hell? Because I sit there and think, like, all the things that have happened in the past 5 years to me personally, or just, you know, I life in general, right? But despite that, he's still the exact same as the last time I saw him. And I was like, that is crazy. Considering all the stuff that's happened, him being the exact same is insane. Like, what? And I got me thinking about, like, you know, it links to the whole shadows, things that haunt you. And it took me back to, you know, like a shadow, right? It haunts you in a sense. Like, everywhere you go, it's always there. It's always following. It's like your past, you know, your past is always following you. Like, you know, your present is dictated by the past, so in turn, it's always there. And it got me thinking about back to school, which, if you want, fun fact, it's bad memories. Very, very bad memories for me. I hate school. I hated school. I hate education. I hate everything to do with it. But it reminds me of essentially a thing that haunts me, just like, you know, my own shadow. You know, it's always kind of lurking and following me, kind of no matter what I do. And it's this thing somebody said to me back then, 5-ish years ago. And it was basically somebody's assumption of me, my, like, character and stuff like that. So you're probably wondering, what was it? You know, what was it? And basically, it was like a petty argument thing, you know, like, everybody has those where, like, people just start arguing over nothing. I mean, I obviously wasn't a saint. I also had the exact same issues in that confrontation. I was also arguing. Hindsight 2020, you know. But this person turned around to me and they basically started, like, ripping into me, like, outside of, like, the confrontation at hand, ripping into me. And I was like, man, this isn't cool. I hate when people do that. It's like, what the hell? And they said this thing that stuck with me. You know what this is? You have a superiority complex. And, well, it's something along, I'm paraphrasing, because obviously I don't remember the entire context. I don't sit there, like, revising the entire phrase that was said, but superiority complex is the thing to take away from it here. And if you wonder what superiority complex is, it's basically thinking everything revolves around you. And that you are the only person that matters, and all your actions are done based off of yourself, your own interests, and all that sort of stuff. And what I mean by something haunting me is, past that day, I feel like that thing there, superiority complex, and people thinking I have that, or just accusing me of having that, has sat with me for so long. And to the point where, like, so much of my life, I'll sit there and I'll question a lot of my actions because of that. I'll be like, no, I can't, you know, I can't be like this right now. Like, that's not me, you know. Maybe he was right, you know. I sit there, it's like, what if he was right? You know, maybe I am a bad person. You know, maybe I do only think about myself and all that sort of stuff. And it's kind of haunting me. It's a very personal thing today. It's haunting me for quite a long time, if I'm honest. And yeah, it is something that I've kind of just never gotten past. And, like, obviously I try as I might, and I continue as like, and I really strongly don't think I did, nor do have one. But it's one of those things where, you know, when you think of, like, you see, you know, I saw the dog chasing shadows. I was like, I'm kind of, you know, just kind of always haunted by my own shadow. Like that dog's haunted by her own shadow, you know. Wherever she goes, that shadow follows her. And it's not fun for her. It's just for whatever reason I don't know what's going through her head, but the shadow is, she wants to attack it. She wants it to go away. And I'm kind of in the same case, apart from, you know, I'm not a dog, and it's not a literal shadow. It's like a figurative one. But yeah, and that's the kind of thing. I'm curious, have you guys ever had a thing that, you know, like this shadow is like following you everywhere, and that kind of you struggle to kind of deal with and move on from? Because believe me, I've tried, and I wouldn't say I live every day constantly like in fear of it, but it always props up in my mind when like I'm talking to other people or deciding what like response to take in a situation. I always sit there and be like, if I maybe they were right. Like, what if I am the issue? You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm curious. Have you guys ever had that sort of thing, where you sit there and question? Just constantly haunted by something, essentially. I'm very, very curious. Because, like I say, it's a thing I deal with. It's a thing I feel like I struggle with quite a bit, and I don't want to. I'm just curious, essentially, of what everybody else thinks. So who is this random bloke? What? Why is that going up? What the? Oh, there you go. But yeah, I'm kind of like, so I don't really know where to go from there, to be honest. I mean, it's Christmas, so you know, there's not been like a ton of other than that negative, like there's not been like a ton of negative stuff going on right now, like in my life. It's just like sometimes you have things where you sit there and think like, man, they just remind you of these moments, these times, and it's just rough. You know, like I say, I get reminded of essentially this phrase, this one thing that was said, and you know, the high likelihood is that person didn't even mean it, right? Like that's the funniest part is that person probably just said it out of anger, or you know, maybe they did mean it. But it's one of those things where I guess you have to look at the bright side of it, in that thing, as much as, you know, while I would, you know, wish I would never have had it said and now constantly struggle with that thought, it means that now I'm always so alert and worried about being self-centered, right? And I'm always like striving my best and always making my decisions off of other people. Which, to be fair, I do feel like, obviously, it's hard to kind of judge your own kind of stuff, but I do feel like I've not been that way, like, really ever. But who's to say, you know? I do think I've always kind of looked at things, and like with a lot of care and thinking about other people. I feel like other people around me see that sort of thing, but it's one of those things, you know, the self-doubt creeps in, and then because of that thing that haunts me, I'm always questioning, am I like that or am I not? You know. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I'm really curious. Do you guys have a thing that haunts you, or do you have a similar sort of situation? Anything like that? And how's your week been? You know, how's the holidays been? Have you been going out shopping with your family like I have, or what have you been doing? I'm curious. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. I really, really do appreciate it. If you're wandering around here, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Do I usually promote this sort of stuff? I don't think I do. I don't know why I've gone into this weird outro. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. I'll hopefully see you guys again next week, which will probably once again be delayed. But it'll be talking about Christmas, and it'll probably a sad one again. But these are majority sad anyway. But yeah, love to hear your guys' thoughts and weeks and all that in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.